for the two-hand hammer. Dan scoops and scores with 2.7 to go in the pit. Now he rips it with a right hand. The fans can feel it now. It's a Lobo celebration in Vegas. Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome into the Lobo Pod. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, and we're going to start a series of Lobo basketball podcasts for you from our studios here at the corner of University and Avenida Cesar Chavez. It's my privilege to welcome in one of the Lobo greats. He is a third-year Lobo. He's Quinton Webb. Q, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Good to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you, man. And thanks for being the guy that's in our maiden voyage on the Lobo podcast, man.
Yeah, this first one?
Yes, this is it.
Love it. Got to set the tone.
Yeah, for Lobo Hoops, man. This is the inaugural podcast.
And of course, they picked me. Nobody else. I ain't gonna lie. They tried to pick a couple other people, and I heard them say no, and I didn't know what they was talking about, and now I'm locked in. Okay, yeah.
You're dialed in. Let's start with the ski cap there, right? Because March Madness, man, how fun was it going to the big dance, winning the whole show in Vegas and getting that experience?
Definitely. I would say it was definitely a different vibe from Vegas to where were we at? We were in Memphis. Mm-hmm. Just because I would say, obviously, Vegas is closer, so we got a lot more love and support. And then also, I would say, Vegas, winning all of it, anytime you win a championship, it's surreal. Like, it feels like you're on top of the world. So I would definitely say there's a difference from going 4 days straight and then going to Memphis where it's like this is a whole new ball game. Like, tournament, we already know who we're facing against. We've already played these teams. We pretty much know what they got. Tournament, we see Clemson, and you know what I'm saying? Off rip, we got to start scouting them, and it's like we get there. And put this way, Memphis was cool until after the game. I'll say that. It was cool until after the game for sure.
I hear you. We know everybody would love to see it, go a little better in Memphis. But let's talk about Vegas, because what an experience that had to be. 4 wins in 4 days and holding up the trophy. We could see you guys celebrating on the court there in the Thomas and Mack. Take us through the whole week, man.
Okay, so maybe you have a better memory than I do. I want to say the first game we played Air Force, mm-hmm. and then it was Colorado.
Now, remind me, the Air Force game, you had a little run for a dunk, didn't you?
Some calm, you know what I'm saying? I had to bring it out. Nothing too crazy.
Where is that one on the Lobo dunk so far for Q?
I say because it's in the tournament, I'll give it top three.
Top three.
Top 3, top 5. But it was just a little two-hand grazer. I remember Didi. I want to say Didi gave him an assist because I was like his 10th assist or something. And the only thing in my head was like, okay, just don't miss this. Like, no flashy, no, just don't miss this. Like, just put it in, get 2 points, hang in the rim a little bit, get back on defense, run it back.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of dunks, I'm going to bounce around.
Cool.
Because this is what we do, right?
We locked in. Yeah.
Okay. Was the BOB play, the baseline out of bounds play that we saw you dunk on a couple of times?
Oh, yeah.
Was that something that was installed just for you?
I don't think it was installed just for me, but I want to say that I might be the only person that might be able to run it. Only because, like, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? No dirt to the teammates.
Right.
They bouncy, they athletic too, but it's a little bit more difficult because it's like I can't give out the play now. I've seen it. I gotta go set a little screen, and then it's quick. I got a screen for me right behind me, and it's like you have two choices. You could either like run in a circle right around the block and then throw it up, which is difficult, or you could do a little side step, take a step back, another side step, and then you off vert. So I would say it is a little bit harder, and I don't think he runs it for anybody else except for me.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's ideal for you.
Yeah, just a little bit.
There was one in the pit off of that BOB that was off the chain. Do you remember that one?
That's the only time. No, actually, it's worked a couple times.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I remember that one. That one worked well. House, my boy got me. He put it right on the dot. And then we tried to run it again against Air Force. And it was funny because it wasn't even open. Like when we ran it, with House, it was open. It was a good read. True just threw it, which is love, because it wasn't open and he probably shouldn't have passed it to me. But like he threw it, I seen it, and I was like, okay, either I'm gonna go get it or he gonna go get it. And I was like, yeah, he's not getting this one. So
it's mine.
Yeah, I had to go get that one.
No, the one from House though was, you said it, perfect.
Yeah.
Take us through that moment, because you don't get a lot like that. I mean, that in front of our fans to do that. Oh my gosh.
I forgot. I don't remember what the play's actually called, but I do know that it's like, as a player, and on any team, it's like you have certain play calls. The second you hear that play call, you already know, you're already thinking, okay, what I'm about to do. When I heard him call the play, it's like, okay, I ain't gonna lie. If he calling this to get a dunk, we really trying to put an exclamation mark on this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a regular play, but it's supposed to have a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Not just a layup, not a three ball.
Little
like,
flavor.
Hey, we putting it, like, we letting y'all know we here and we not going back down. So when he called that, I was like, all right, bro, like, the fans is rocking right now. We got momentum. Like, I got to put this one in too, because if I don't, it's cool. We're still up like 30, 40, but the energy going to completely change. So,
you had one of your best games, certainly in terms of numbers, the 7 points in the rout of New Mexico State. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cool. That was definitely an experience, something that I'm probably not going to forget for probably ever.
Have you ever been a part of a boat race quite like that one?
It'd be like high school, like early high school. We're playing against some, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Respectfully, no disrespect, but it'd be like, okay, like, this is a game that it just so happens we're on the schedule, but it's like, we're not even going to count this. When we played New Mexico State, I'll be real, that's the first time I had like a season, well, not a season game, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's on the schedule.
Right, regular season game.
It's two teams, both D1 going at it. So I was definitely surprised when I seen the score and we're up 20 at halftime, and then 30 and then 40. So that was awesome.
Okay, got to circle back to the tournament. So yes, Air Force. We start with Air Force.
Yeah.
Lobos take down the Falcons. Q gets a dunk.
Yeah.
Now, the next three opponents, the way it sets up, it's going to be a meat grinder, bro.
Yeah,
it's CSU, it's Boise State.
Colorado, Boise,
yeah,
and
then San Diego State. So let's get back to just sort of that week. And so now Air Force in the rearview mirror, and you know it's Colorado State, and all that means. That's a really good basketball team.
I would say going in, we knew, and even Air Force, going into for the first game, we knew like we couldn't overestimate anybody. We had to be locked in, and we knew that it really the rest of our season, the whole season, depended on those 4 games. Because I feel like Coach P would like to say that we earned our spot in the March Madness before.
You and I think you had.
I ain't gonna lie, we were going into that like the week before, until we lost to Air Force, we thought we were already locked. And then we hear that, and then I'll be honest, there's definitely some, you know what I'm saying, rumors, different concerns going around the locker room, whether or not what our future was going to look like. And then I remember him saying something along the lines of like, as long as we win like 3 more games, or like, you know what I'm saying? And this is before the tournament, like 3 more games, we're going to be locked. And then we get to the tournament, and then they're like, okay, you guys are going to have to still win another 2 games. And then we beat Air Force because we already lost to them, so it's 1-1. So we gave them our respect. We're like, hey, this is a statement game. Let's go in, do what we got to do. Then next game, Colorado, which is, you know what I'm saying? Respectable jump and challenge. So then it was like, our mindset was really just go out and do what we've been practicing the whole season. Just play together, take smart shots, smooth the ball around, and guard. It's like, if all we got to do really is guard and get rebounds, and we feel like we're just a complete different team. So I would say going into Colorado, it was like, okay, this is going to be a good game, but we were confident. And even going to Boise, I would say was like, we were confident, but we knew this was going to be a dogfight. Like, this is where, like, hey, forget everything else. Forget how you're feeling. I know my teammates was tired. I know you guys might got, you know, stuff going on outside the court, but it was like, this is the one we need this, because we're still in the mindset of we might not even make March Madness.
Got to win this game.
Yeah, so it was like, it was weird, because then even after we beat Boise, it was still like we still might not make March Madness.
Like, we got to win the whole thing.
Yeah, so it was like we were on some like, okay, we can win the whole thing. We knew we were going to have a chance, but then it was like, every game when we won and we're still like, we still got to win it, it still kept the pressure on us. So then it was like going into San Diego State, it's San Diego State. Like, you know, I don't got to say what, you know, their track history, their track record. It was like, hey, this is where we got to lay everything on the line. Like, they going to come, it's already 1-1. They're not going to lay down. They're not going to lay over. And it was like, we knew offense was going to come. It was just if we could get stops and rebound, and we did it. So it was definitely, like I said, a surreal moment. It was amazing. Like I said, anytime you win a championship, it's definitely crazy.
What are your memories of the celebration? And you see that entire court flooded with Lobo fans, and you're standing on that podium with all your teammates around you.
I ain't gonna lie, I was on the podium with my teammates, and it was crazy. You felt all the love and support, but I was really just looking for my peoples. My mom, my sister were there.
Were there some tears?
I ain't gonna lie. Let's be real. So I would say I won a couple of championships. This one, as we already know, like, I didn't have as much as a bigger part for this one. So it was cool winning it, and it was surreal. But the only thing I was thinking about, to be honest, was like, we got to run this joint back next year. Because I'll be real, like I was definitely a part of this journey, a part of the squad, but it's definitely I've had a different role on this team than I have in the past on different championship teams. So this one, it was more of like it was a good feeling, but it was like a I'm still hungry feeling. Like yeah, we just won, and yeah, we still even have March Madness, but it was like, nah, I want to run this one back again and get another one. So it was cool. It was so joyous. I was really just like, I'm blessed to even be here. And where I was at as a team, even with my peoples, I was like, there's so many people that probably will never even get to experience that. So definitely just take a step back and enjoy what's around me and thank God and give him his glory. So definitely said what was going through my head.
You bring up a great point. You've had to show some serious patience within your journey.
Yeah.
And a full redshirt season where you only play exhibition games. And then, like you said, role player last year. But there is a progression, isn't there? And there's a development that goes with that. And you've kind of stayed the course when a lot of guys haven't shown that kind of patience.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you been able to do that? It's an amazing thing, actually.
Appreciate that.
In today's college basketball world where it's instant gratification and everybody's moving on to the next stop.
I would say with like my mindset, I've always been in like A, I'm hard-headed, and B, it's like I always wanted to prove to myself that I could do something. So it was like...
Where's that stubbornness come from?
I say my mama. Both my parents, actually, both of them hard-headed. I get it from both of them. But I would say it was just like, to be honest, I wouldn't say to look at it as like a failure, but to be honest, I wasn't originally planning on redshirting. And then obviously year two, in my head, I wish I had a lot bigger role. So it was like when I didn't get that really just made me more hungry. I was like, yeah, I could leave and go do something else. And I feel like I'm in a position where I would still be in a successful spot. But I was like, why run from the battle? Why run from the fade? I was like, you know what I'm saying? Give props to my guys, House, Mash, JB, all of them. I was like, they're top players. Like we're a top 25 team. It was like, yeah, I could have left, but I was like, running from the smoke, running from the competition, that's just never really been.
So you've been always a kind of a dig in your heels guy and go to battle.
Yeah, plus I would say really what it was is like I made a small lifestyle change. I went from putting basketball first to putting God first. And I realized when I put God first, it was like everything, whether it was school, family, basketball, everything else started actually being more successful. So I look at it as a little bit of like a humbling moment from God, definitely just not purposely trying to do it, but I realized I had to look myself in the mirror and realize I was putting God behind basketball, and he was like, nah, bro, you're not going to do that.
What was the inspiration for that? Where did that come from? When did that start?
When I realized that?
Yeah.
So I would say like one thing I've always prayed for is patience, things like wisdom and confidence.
You've shown a ton of that, bro.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I pray for it. So it's like, yeah, it's me, but like I'm asking God for it. And it was like, instead of, at first I thought like, okay, I'm just going to start making smart decisions, or like, okay, like whenever there's times where I have to be patient, I'm just naturally going to be like, you know what I'm saying, calmer. But it was more of like, he put me in situations where I had to earn that, like I had to learn that skill. And it was just me talking to like my closest people in my corner and just explaining my life and whatnot. And I was like, dang, I prayed for patience. And he made me redshirt a whole year. Basically took a whole year off of like competitive basketball. So I was like, okay, cool. In my mindset going into my redshirt freshman season, it was like, this is the year, like I'm on it, go, everything's green. In preseason, I would say I was more active, but like I still was putting basketball above God, and I still had like a mindset of like, it was, I'm controlling where my destiny is going, not realizing that God already had a plan for me. And when I was explaining that to my friends, I was like, dang, I was forcing basketball above God. And God was like, until you really realize that that's not this, you gonna keep on waiting. So I feel like that was another reason why I was like, I started making a little progression, but I kind of went back to where I was at year one for all because I just wasn't locked in, I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? God just had to tell me to be patient and still just work. So,
well, it sounds like you've got some great perspective and that you have grown a ton over the first 2 years here. So you mentioned your mom, Debbie Webb.
Yeah.
But back in the day, Debbie Arnold.
Yeah. So, you know about it.
Yeah. So played at UC Riverside, right? Mid to late 80s. When was the first time you beat your mom on a basketball court?
I ain't gonna lie, we're gonna go to the next question. We're gonna go to the next question. Now, what I will say, okay, look. Because you know what I'm saying? There's no reason to lie. I'll be real. Have I played my mom before? Yeah. Did she beat me? Maybe. And she never ran it back. It's not like I'm running from the smoke. She running from the smoke. Ask about Pops. I beat Pops. He messed up. He let me win. Now I was a young bull, like 4 or 5. And I was on that. So when it was time to play my mom, when I was a little bit older, she was like, yeah, we're not going for that. And she never played me again. So not gonna last 1-0. But she know the truth. My mom was a 5. My mom's 6 feet. Both my parents were 5. So they here on the block, you know what I'm saying? That Kareem, that Scott, no, I'm a guard, I'm a wing. I'll bring you on that island and start mixing, get to my bag. So they don't want to see me no more. But I'll definitely give it to both of them because my dad, I'll say that's where I got the defensive skills and athleticism for sure.
So I definitely wanted to ask about that because you've talked about it. You called your high school, you said that the nickname at Etiwanda was Clamp City.
Yeah.
So you've also said that sort of the Cali vibe with hoop is kind of style and flash and flair and it's sexy and it's offense oriented.
It's not real gritty. I'll be real.
So why are you gritty? Where's the defense mentality? It comes from Pops first?
Nah, I'll be real because like I'll say it's definitely like my dad's been big on like just like he never really forced me as much in basketball, but he'd always give me advice like keep your hands up all the times and you know what I'm saying, keep them just active and always keep your feet moving. But I would say when I got to Etiwanda, and especially with my guy David Kleckner, practice would be crazy because we're in high school. So there'd be some days it'd be like 3 hours. I got there during COVID, so we wouldn't even have school. So really in his head, hey, you guys have energy, you guys are fresh. So first thing we're doing is shell drill, 5-on-0. We're only on defense. And then after that, a couple of times, then it's zigzags. We just literally just guard, everybody get a partner, and offense, you're going to go in like 50%, 75%, but really it's just defense, sliding. Then we would work on some more box-out drills, and then we would work on some different defensive rotation drills, and then we're working on our help defensive drills. And then before you know it, we're like an hour 30 in a practice, and now we might go over like 2, 3, maybe 4 plays for a couple minutes, and we're just going live. We're just hooping. So I would definitely say like the mindset of Etiwanda and the style of play that Coach Kleck kind of enforced, it was like instead of giving us sets to run, he was just teaching us how to play basketball. And he was letting us know that next level, if you can't guard, you're not going to get on the court. So we're getting that down now. If you're not guarding here, you're not going to get on the court. So
the way your dad, Elton, the way your mom, Debbie, guarded you, and then also high school, the mentality, huge piece of the puzzle for you.
Because if you watch this, shout out to my boy Donnie. He might not like this one. Send 10. Hey, you see Donnie's bag. It's nice. It's nice for a reason. And he could guard too, but he's just not going to put the same effort. And that's all because of, I feel like, how the style of play we grew up. Donnie was at Send 10. They learned how to score it. They getting their shots up, working on their handles. We over here working on defense. So it shows, definitely.
Well, when you get on the court, the two things that stand out immediately for Lobo fans are the defense and the rebounding. You make a serious commitment to that.
Yeah. I mean, I do, but it's also like there's only one basketball on the court, especially in the past playing with like elite top guards like House, Smash, and Donnie, or who are more just like I know are trying to score that. Not everybody's going to be able to go for 20 or 30 points, but you could go and be the best defender on the court. You could go fight and show how hard you want the rebound. So it's like little stuff like that. At the end of the day, that's my role. So it's like that's my job. So it's like when I go on the court, it's time to go to work. That's what I got to do. So
you've talked about the sort of swag of the SoCal guys. There's some serious swag in the Inland Empire too. It's not just in L.A.
Hey, this is why I rock with you. You came with this is why I rock with you. You came with a butt. You know your stuff.
Serious swag.
You know your stuff.
Lobo fans know and love one of their Rancho boys, K-Dub, Kendall Williams. Now, Osos quality program, right? Too.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Osos was not the same when he was there versus when I was there. I'll say that because I went to Etiwanda and we're in the same district, so we played them a couple times. But I will say it's definitely a small world because me and Kendall had the same trainer, Keith Howard. So it was like, I remember hearing Kendall's name before I even got here. And then since we're both in the IE, like he played with my cousin, so like we have mutuals, we know like the same circles, but I never really put the face because he's a little older than me. So I remember,
for fans, this is your cousin Miles, right?
No, actually, this is Miles' older brother.
Okay.
That's crazy. Yeah. So Miles' older brother, David, actually grew up and played with Kendall.
Miles played at Cal State San Bernardino.
Yeah. So, damn. Hey, Rob on his stuff right now. He on his P's and Q's. I love it. Yeah. So, because I would say basketball is kind of in my whole family. I definitely had a couple of different cousins playing. But, David, basketball, he was kind of just doing it for high school, so his career ended a lot shorter. But I remember it was funny just because he was like, yeah, if you ever see Kendall, let him know I said, what's up? Let him know I said hi. And I'll be real, this is my big cousin, but I'm thinking he just talking. I'm not going to lie. Because Kendall, hey, if you ever take a little walk in the back or you ever get to see the whole pit, you'll see all the stars, and Kendall's the first one. So I ain't gonna lie, we got the same trainer, we from the same little county, this big bro. So my cousin talking about, oh yeah, I know Kendall, I'm like, no you don't. And so I remember I just met Kendall for the first time in like the past year. And I would say Kendall has probably like the most, like he has the best energy for someone that I never met. It was like immediately love. Like he giving advice, he letting us know like, he showed a couple stories about back in the day, kind of comparing now and then. But it was funny because when I brought up my cousin, I'm like, hey, you actually know my cousin, like David. Or he said he know you. I'm thinking he's going to be like, oh, yeah. He was like, David Arnold? Oh, that's my boy. We was locked in with Super. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you are from the IE. And I'm like, and then he telling me stories of them growing up. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like we really are from like the same circle. So that was cool. So
another one that, and this, going a little bit farther back, but we talked about him a little bit, and I told you, man, oh man, you want to talk about a national dunk champion and another Inland Empire guy from Cajon, San Bernardino, is Tony Danridge.
Yeah. Keith, like he's with Keith too, so it's crazy that we're all me. So I don't know where, because Tony said Tony's older, so I don't really know him, but I know his receipts, and I know that he was tough, and I know that he was at Cajon, which is 10 minutes away from my crib, so it's definitely a small world.
There is a lot more talent out of that area than I think people give it credit for.
Yeah, even basketball and like football, because basketball, you have me, Tony, and then Kendall, obviously, Donovan Dant, Riverside, Jamal Baker, Menifee, also Inland Empire, and then Tony Snail, he was Inland Empire. And even if you like go like football, like we even have some, like a lot of like high recruited ranked football players. Jaden Daniels, he's from San Bernardino. He just went number one. CJ Stroud, he's from Rialto, I think, which is like 20 minutes. That's Inland Empire. So we definitely have a lot of hidden gems. I would say the difference between the Inland Empire and LA is the Inland Empire is a lot more like Albuquerque. It's not as flashy. It's not as many designer stores and celebrities, but it's a cool city. It's calm. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know each other. It's good love, and it's just a vibe. So,
Q, this is great stuff, man. You've got a whole new basketball team you're getting acquainted with here for 2024, 2025. You guys have gotten on the court together now. Mm-hmm. What's it like?
It's cool. It's definitely an adjustment because, like, year one, we had a player leave halfway through the season, so we only have 13 players. Last year, we had 14 players. This year, we had 16. And it's like, it's weird because right now, everybody's healthy. Tiki just came back yesterday. He going to work. I love it. So it's like, this is the first time we have a full 16. It's like having 3 teams of 5. It's definitely different than having 2 teams of 5 with like 2 players because somebody's injured and then like managers. So I'll say just the way we practice, it's a lot more up and down, a lot more live basketball, just going at each other, getting each other better. And as far as my new teammates, I'm loving it. I'm not going to speak out too much because y'all going to see when time comes, but we're going to be tough this year for sure.
You were talking about a Tiki Ale Tiki, the little thumb deal, but now he's full go.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. My fault. Yeah. So Tiki, I don't know exactly what happened, but he had an injury. So when he first got here, he could work out with us, but he wasn't able to go live. But having 16, we still got 5. So it was definitely perfect. And I would say as the course of the season, we're probably going to have, knock on wood, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? We might have another hopefully small, minor injury, and if that's when we still got 5 on 5 on 5 versus like 2 years ago we had 13 players, 2 players are banged up, now it's only 11, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a different dynamic a little bit, even as far as like break up into individual groups. We got the guards over here, the wings over here, the big wings over here, and the fives over here. Versus before, where like we might just have to split up guards and bigs.
So much size on the court this year.
Yeah,
it looks completely different in terms of the. What's that like?
I would say, like we have Sacco, bro. Sacco is so strong. Like it's crazy because we don't have like. Shout out to my boy Sebastian, miss him. Sebastian was 7 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like we got like taller pieces this year. Nelly might be our tallest at like 6'9", and I haven't seen him stand next to Tiki, but I'm guessing they're around the same height. So we got 2 6'9", but then like everybody else is like 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", 6'6", 6'6", 6'5". So it's like me at 6'6", on the court, I'm really like average size. Like I'm really right in the middle. So it's just like, it's weird because back in the day, high school, I was a 5-man. So it's definitely different seeing like on the court looking and you one of the tallest versus now where it's like I'm looking and I'm like this to everybody.
Well, in the first 2 years here, in terms of the backcourt and the wings, you were the biggest guy.
Yeah, I was like a 3-4. Yeah, for real. Now it's like talking to coaches like I'm really a 2-3. And I would say I love it because even at that next level, wherever it is pro, it's like you guys see the way the game's changing. You're getting 6'8" point guards now. So it's like it's definitely a different style of basketball. So
other thing I noticed, first couple of glances at the team on the court together, and our next pod's going to be with CJ Nolan, and you mentioned Sacco, and man,
even CJ got me by CJ got me by 15 pounds.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. CJ and Ibrahima.
CJ, yeah, bro.
Yoked,
CJ a big guard.
bricks.
CJ
yeah.
a big guard. It's funny because like right now I'm sitting at like 200. They telling me my goal weight 215. And so we got a new nutritionist, and we're going in there, and she's breaking it down. We're looking at our goals. And in my head, just because I had to gain weight, I'm thinking, oh, CJ, like, what they trying to tell you to gain weight to? He's like, gain weight? I got to lose weight. I was like, huh? He was like, I'm 215. I said, damn, CJ. And don't get twisted. It's 215.
No, yeah.
It's solid. It's strong 215. But like my boy, like 6'3", 6'4" maybe. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that. And even the way he get into the lane, you could tell the way he be bumping other people. He 215. So I love it. I love it.
Hard for you to put on weight?
Just a little bit. Just because, like, even if, like, my dad, I would say I'm more built like my dad. Like, my dad could eat all day, and he's just not going to put on weight. And for me, I'm a little bit the same way. Just as far as, like, for me to gain weight, I really have to lock in, eat 4 meals a day, the protein shake, creatine. So it's doable, but I just, like I said, I got to lock in. I got to take it a lot more serious.
Development for Q on the court. Like, you've talked about this, and we've already touched on it in this show. You want to be able to get on the court, D like a mad dog.
Yeah.
Crash the glass whenever possible, both ends.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to be able to make open shots. And I was thinking about that last piece of it, and it's almost like a two-parter thing because in the day of, 4 out, 5 out, you want as many offensive options out there on the court as possible, right? So you just want to be able to score wherever it is, whatever level.
Definitely.
In terms of your development and being able to add that piece where, coach knows when you're on the court that you got that open shot, it's got a good chance going down, or maybe you get ISO'd somehow, end of the shot clock, and you can take somebody off the dribble.
I'm going to work. I'm
right,
putting on my
So are you working on that stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Every day we're working on our game. I would say it's like I'm about to go on a workout. For starters, like you said, I'm really getting paid to hit open shots, 3-ball, and to guard the ball. So that's off rip. That's the first thing we're doing. That's catch and shoot. That's on the movement shots. That's one dribble shots. Is anything that's like game like. Now, where I want my game to expand and continue is coming off ball screens. We do a lot of ball screen actions. So I would say just learn how to make those reads of like when you come off that screen, that first look is really you. It's like, bro, if nobody's going to stop you, go score that. That second read is like you got to read if the defense is tagging the big, then you got to throw it back. That means my wing's open because he just lifted. If I look and that guy ain't tagged, that means that big's there. So it's just like I would say just my IQ, because it's easy to say and I could talk about it and explain it, but it's like then when you actually get in there and you get a live defender on you and you come off that ball screen and instead of dropping back, he hedge, or you got 2 extra defenders poking at you, I would say the repetition and getting the confidence and just attacking at it every day, just getting better. So I'd definitely say that's the next step to my game.
Love that. And that will be a ticket for you too, right?
I mean, for sure.
That's
for sure. I feel like that's going to be what's going to take me to that next level for sure.
Man, oh man, I can't think of a Lobo fan out there that wouldn't want that for you, bro.
That's love. That's love.
No, seriously, and the support that you have given your teammates and this program, through 2 years where you're a competitor. I know that, and you want to be the guy just like everybody else, and it's just been literally all positive vibe from you for 2+ calendar years.
Appreciate it.
No, that's it. That's a testament to character, man. That absolutely that is.
And it hasn't been, exact easiest, but like I said, I try to carry over because at the end of the day, basketball is, just a game. So I try to make it more about life. That's how I'm trying to move off the court. Care for your brother, care for your enemy. Love your neighbor as yourself. At the end of the day, me complaining and me bickering or me having a negative mindset, I still got to go do what Coach P told me to do. I still got to go do what Coach Chu, AK, T-Fell, all of them. So it's like I realized once your mindset change, it's going to change the way you carry your whole day and like even the activity. Because if I go in talking about like, oh, I don't want to do this, or dang, like I just had to sit on the bench for the last 2 years, or like this, that, and the third, it's easy to just negative thoughts to keep on rolling and you start going down. Like it's a saying, like it's like if you look down, that's where you're going to end up. So for me, it's just been chin up, chest out, and just roll with it because, like I said, God already got my path written out. So
preaching right there. Any up-and-coming players you listen, that's the attitude you need to have. Let's call it on that, man.
Love it,
that
love
is
it, love
absolute money. Quinton Webb, thanks
game.
so much for being our first Lobo Pod.
Appreciate you having me on the way.